My name is Luke Monington, and in this video, I'm going to be giving you a quick tutorial on how to get up and running on AutoGPT. This tutorial assumes that you already have Git, VS Code, and Docker already installed. So first, what we're going to do is clone the GitHub repo, and then do clone with HTTPS. Then open your Git, change to the proper directory, then clone it. After you have it cloned, change into that directory. Then do git tag to find all of the tags that are released, and we're going to do the latest tag. So that's going to be version 0.2.2. So, so we're going to do git checkout v 0.2.2. Then we're going to create a branch based off of this. We can see here that we are in the demo branch for v 0.2.2. Now we're going to open it up in VS Code. Open the repository that we just cloned. Okay, so now that we're here, the instructions on how to get up and running in order to future-proof this, all of the instructions, if they're different, they will be in this README, and you can do open with preview to get the proper formatting. And essentially, to get up and running quickly on this, we just need to populate the .env file. So in order to do that, first we need to create the .env file based upon this .env.template. Now that we've created it, we need to populate the OpenAI API key. And the way that you can get this is by going into your browser, go to the OpenAI API key, and these are just some previous keys that I've already created, but we can just go into the create a new secret key. Let's call it demo, create secret key, copy this, and paste it right here. And you don't need to add any quotation marks, just paste it right there. And then before you run it, make sure you go onto the browser, check billing, usage limits, and set your limit. Maybe reduce it since the limit is a little bit high. I reduced my hard limit to $20 and my soft limit to $15. When the API hits the soft limit, you will get a email, and when it hits the hard limit, it'll stop doing API calls. So now we save this, and now to actually run it, we can see in the instructions that for the Docker Compose, we can do this line. So copy that, paste that there. And there we have it. Now we have AutoGPT going. So now we need to give it a name. We're going to call this Nutrition GPT. Now we need to give it a role. And we are going to say that your job is to autonomously develop a nutrition plan for me that meets the budget and dietary constraints that I have. So now we can give it some goals. You can give it up to 5 goals. Design a weekly nutrition plan. Stay within the budget. Follow the dietary constraints. And if you don't have any more goals, you can just hit enter. So now you can see that it has some thoughts, reasoning, it's making a plan, and it has some criticism for itself. So here we see that it needs to find out more about my dietary constraints and my budget so that it can determine the next steps. So now it's asking for some user input. I will say that I want to have a dairy-free diet and spend no more than $50 US dollars per week. And so now we can see that it has some thoughts to create a nutrition plan. In order to create a nutrition plan that meets the user's needs, I need to determine the types of food that they can eat in their budget. I will use Google search to find a list of affordable dairy-free products. So now it's going to do a Google search. In order to authorize it, I can hit Y, or if I want to authorize a certain number of continuous commands, I can do Y-2 for 2 commands, or Y-5 if I want to authorize 5 commands, or I can hit N in order to exit the program. In this case, I will authorize 2 commands. It did a Google search to find some foods that would fit within the constraints that I set forth. And there you have it. We got AutoGPT up and running very quickly. And also in the .env file, there's plenty of other APIs that can possibly be added. For example, there is some long-term memory. So if you want to have a memory backend, it can be done with Pinecone. That's a very popular one, but at the time of the recording of this, there aren't any free versions, so you would need to get a paid version. There are some other types of memory backends as well. This can connect with Hugging Face. This can connect with Stable Diffusion in order to create images. This can do audio to text. It can browse the web using different browsers. And it can even connect with Twitter through the Twitter API. And so you might be asking, how is this different from regular ChatGPT? What's the advantage of having AutoGPT? And I would say that the main reason why this is an advantage is that it's able to self-prompt, it's able to act autonomously, and you're able to connect it to pretty much whatever API that you want to connect it to. So if you want to connect it to 11 Labs, if you want to connect it to Twitter, pretty much anywhere you want to connect it, you can connect it up. So you can get it to generate images, you can get it to generate voice, you can do speech to text, text to speech, pretty much anything that you want within this AutoGPT repo. So that's about it, guys. That's how you can get up and running on AutoGPT. This is really just the tip of the iceberg, so I highly recommend that you go in here and start messing around with it. And please leave a comment down below on this video and tell me what you plan to use AutoGPT for. Are you going to use it as a virtual assistant? Are you going to use it to emulate your voice and open images or do different things? There really are endless options. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on the best uses for AutoGPT. And if you enjoy the video, please consider liking and subscribing. I'm Luke Monington, and we'll see you in the next one.